This is Calculus with Mr. Allenson, and we're going to be doing problem number 5 from the 2003 BC test. So first of all, we've got a cylinder here, certain volume of water that's changing, and so A says show that dH dt equals negative the square root of h over 5. And so what we're going to start with is the volume is equal to pi times the radius squared times the height. That's going to be 25 pi times h. So what we're going to do is take the derivative with respect to volume. dV dt is equal to 25 pi dH dt. In the problem, they tell us that the rate that the volume is changing is negative 5 pi root h. So we've worked out that it's this. In the problem they tell us this, so these two things must be equal. So we've got negative 5 pi root h equals 25 pi dH dt. So I would divide both sides by pi, which will cancel those out. I'm trying to solve for dH dt, so I'm going to divide by 25 and get negative root h. 5 over 25 is 5 on the bottom, dH dt. So that shows that this, in fact, dH dt is in fact negative root h over 5. B says given that h equals 17 at time t equals 0, solve the differential equation, which is dH dt equals negative root 5 over h over 5 as a function of t. So it's an initial value problem. And I'm going to have to do separation of variables to get this to be 1 over root h dH equals negative 1/5 dt. And to differentiate both sides, over here I'm going to get 2 root h equals negative 1/5 t plus c. Okay. Right now we can plug in 17 and 0. It says t equals 0, h equals 17. So it would be 2 root 17 equals negative 1/5 times 0 plus c. So essentially I'm done right there. Okay. So then when I plug back in, I should get h is equal to negative 1/10 t plus root 17. Essentially I'm going back up into here and plugging 2 root 17 in for c, and when I divide by 2 it becomes root 17, and this becomes negative 1/5, and when I get rid of the square root of h, I square this side. So here's what h is equal to. C asked me to find at what time t the coffee pot is empty. Coffee pot's going to be empty when the height's 0. So it's solving this right here, the height being equal to 0. So square root both sides, subtract root 17, multiply by negative 10, and you've got it. So essentially I'll do one step in between here. Multiply by 10, t equals 10 root 17. The points for this, 3 for the first part, 1 for showing that dV dt equals negative 5 pi root h, and dV dt equals 2 pi dH dt is another one. And then showing the result basically showing that you're setting them equal and solving to get this. B is worth 5 points, 1 for separating the variables, 1 for taking the antiderivatives, 1 for finding the constant, 1 for using the initial condition of 0, 17. So, and then 1 for solving for h. C is worth 1 point, the answer 10 root 17.